Yo, I'm Troy, this is TM Fitness, and just to prove that health and fitness isn't just about diet and exercise, I'm going to talk about something that affects all of us and that we should all be a lot more aware of, particularly at this time of year in the UK. We're currently experiencing a bit of a heat wave. Temperatures set to get over 30 degrees this weekend. It's pretty hot outside already. So let's talk about skin cancer, because we need to talk about these things. And skin cancer obviously is a big risk for a lot of people. And it's something that you need to care about if you care about your health and your well-being and your longevity. You know, there's lots of discussions regarding longevity for aging populations or maturing populations. I'm over 40 now, and I often post about the importance of resistance training and cardiovascular training and quality diet and quality sleep and taking care of your mental health, but we don't talk about these other factors, and these are things that are quite easy to control if you pay attention and if you give a shit. So first of all, skin cancer rates are super high in certain countries. Now the top 10, number 1 and 2 are Australia and New Zealand. I mean, you know, that kind of makes sense, right? Because they tend to be hot countries, they tend to have quite a high outdoor culture, and they're predominantly Caucasian populations, which is important because the next 8 countries on that list are all Northern European countries, apart from Slovakia, which is Eastern European. But countries like Denmark and the Netherlands are on that list. So predominantly Caucasian European populations are at risk of skin cancer. That's not to say that it doesn't affect people of colour, but certainly the research that's done doesn't seem to, or the statistics that are reported on that don't seem to show that the risk is quite as high in African and Asian populations as they are in Caucasian populations. So if you're white, you need to think about sunscreen. So I did a little bit of research, and there was a pretty good meta-analysis by the Canadian Medical Journal that was released in 2020. It looked at a number of meta-analyses, high quality meta-analyses with follow-up, and it was shown that, you know, a significant reduction in the risk of developing certain types of skin melanoma are associated with the use of sunscreens. They did show that a factor 30 is ideal or above, at least a factor 30 for adults and children. A liberal application of the sunscreen as well. So most people apparently under apply it. So if you apply a factor 50, it's likely that you're actually getting the effect of factor 25 because you're not applying enough of it. So when you put sunscreen on, slap it all over, and don't be afraid to get your mate to rub it in your back or whatever. And that brings me to another point, because going back to those top 10s, it was interesting. The UK only appeared on one of those top 10. So they split it down into different types of melanoma and then split it by gender. And the non-melanoma cancer list was the one where UK men crept into that top 10, which kind of makes sense that the UK only appears on one of those lists, because we don't get a lot of sunshine in the UK, not for long periods of time. And many of us are, you know, stuck indoors for long periods of the day, working slave labour, office jobs or whatever. So we don't get as much sun exposure as they do in Australia. But then it does show that UK males, when they are exposed to those conditions, they're not putting sunscreen on, or they're not taking any kind of precautions, because we love to take our shirt off and show the world our beer belly, and we don't care about getting sunburn because, you know, putting sunscreen on's for puffs, right? Well, I mean, if you care about yourself, if you care about your health, and if you care about longevity, then you need to be putting sunscreen on. Stop being a dick. So, I mean, to wrap it up, sunscreen, liberal application of sunscreen, regular intervals, at least every hour, every couple of hours at most. Even if you're indoors but you're going to be going outdoors later, keep applying sunscreen. Be sensible. Don't be a dick about it. it's, you know, it could well save your life, and you don't want to end up being one of those statistics. So there you go. There's some health advice that has nothing to do with diet and exercise from TM Fitness. Laters.